So, Godzilla against Mechagodzilla received a direct sequel called Godzilla Tokyo S.O.S. And this movie takes place roughly a year after the previous one, brings back Mechagodzilla, or Kiryu as he's called. I don't know why. I think it's maybe like a play on words because it sounds like kill you in Japanese, but whatever. Um, yeah, so I didn't really like this movie very much. I found it pretty boring because, like, everything that happens in this film, like, there's no reason for it to exist or for any of this stuff to happen. It just kind of happens, and all of it feels like stuff I've seen before in other Godzilla movies. Like, we bring back Mothra, and I love Mothra, but there are so many shots in this movie that are outright identical to shots from the original Mothra versus Godzilla that I don't understand why they had to do this again. Like, it's not it's not like they improved a whole lot on the effects. Mothra looks basically the same as she always has, and her fight with Godzilla in this movie isn't particularly enthralling. Like, doesn't touch GMK. There is literally one part of Mothra's fight in this movie that I found entertaining, and it was when she landed on Godzilla's head and Godzilla bit her leg off, and that was it. There was also a really gorgeous shot where Mothra died and burst into flames and its whole body evaporated in the flames. That looked pretty sick, but other than that, like, it's hard for me to remember the details of this film because I just didn't care about anything that was happening. None of the main characters from the previous movie are in this one, really, and if they were, I missed it because they didn't matter. The new main character is even more bland and generic than most. He just, I don't even know. He's just a guy. He's like a soldier. He sees a girl, he smiles at her, he decides he likes her, and then eventually I think she smiles back at him, like at the end of the movie after they save the day. I don't know. Um, Mechagodzilla isn't as cool in this one because it doesn't move like an anime character anymore, and in general, the fights are just less fun to watch. Um, Even though there are a whole lot more, like, there's a lot more action scenes in this movie than in the last one, it just kind of shows how, like, I don't know, this one just feels really rushed and, like, uncared for because the human characters have little to no development whatsoever, and the plot is nearly non-existent. It's just none of the plot actually matters. Like, they bring back a couple of characters from really old monster movies. Like, I guess one of the guys from the original Mothra is in this one, but he serves no purpose. It's just they say, like, oh, you need to return. Okay, Mothra's fairies show up or whatever. They say you need to return Godzilla's bones to the ocean because you've disturbed the dead by moving their remains or whatever. So you have to disassemble Mechagodzilla and put the bones back. And if you don't, Mothra declares war on humanity. And they're like, well, what do we do without Mechagodzilla? That's our one line of defense. And they say, well, if you have to get rid of Mechagodzilla, Mothra will defend you from Godzilla. And they're like, how do we know we can trust Mothra? Because Mothra destroyed Tokyo one time, like a long time ago, in the 60s or whatever. And so it's like, they just say no, and then like 30 minutes go by with nothing happening. I think that's about how long it takes them to finish repairing Mechagodzilla from its fight from the previous movie. So they finish repairing it, and then they send it out to go fight Godzilla, because it's like, well, we could just, like, get rid of Godzilla forever, and then we can get rid of the bones of Mechagodzilla. Well, that's when Mothra joins the fight, and it's just like, okay, so why couldn't Mothra just try killing Godzilla from the beginning? Why couldn't that be the first thing they tried? Well, I don't know, it doesn't matter, because Mothra fucking dies anyway. But it turns out Mothra had already laid an egg, and the egg gives birth to two twin Mothra larvae, exactly like what happened in Mothra vs. Godzilla. It's like a mixture of rehashed plots from previous films. It's like, just the government tries killing Godzilla, it doesn't work, the government is upset that they can't kill Godzilla. At the end of the movie, once again, Godzilla does not die. It's just like the end of the previous movie, which in the previous movie made sense for him not to die because they were clearly planning on doing a direct sequel, but in this one he still doesn't die, and the government's like, oh no, like what a tragic loss that we couldn't kill Godzilla, even though the previous film they tried to play it off like it was totally fine, like it's a victory because we managed to drive him off. In this one they do the same damn thing, they just drive him off into the ocean, just drop him in the ocean again like we always do, but now it's sad for some reason. Which, I mean, I didn't think they were justified in being happy about it the last time. I thought he should have just died and it would have been a way more climactic finish, but this one takes anticlimax to a new level by making the entire movie feel like an anticlimax. So, yeah, I gotta say, not a fan of Tokyo S.O.S. I'd probably give it like a low 5 to a 4 out of 10. I really didn't like it. It was just a disappointment all around. I can't believe it, but I'm already almost at the end of the Millennium series. The next one is called Godzilla Final Wars, and after Godzilla Final Wars, which was the 50th anniversary film, they decided to quit making Godzilla movies for like a decade. It went on hiatus because I guess people lost interest around this time. So I'm gonna watch Final Wars, see what all the hubbub is about, and I'll get back to you on that. And from that point on, all we've got is the modern Godzilla movies that have come out from like 2014 onward. And those I am excited to see. So I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye.